y'all. Who in here has who in here pays a utility bill every month? Raise your hand. Pretty much everybody, okay. Who in here would like to pay less than a utility bill every month? Raise your hand. Okay, most of you. Okay. Congratulations, you got that right answer there. Those of you that raised your hand, see me after the meeting. We'll help you with that. But what I want to do today, a lot of you have seen this demonstration before. Actually, some of you have not. Some of you are new members. I'm going to get, let's say, Doug.
Yes, sir.
What are these thermometers reading right now?
Both of them are reading about 74 degrees.
Okay. We're going to stick those in here right quick. Just to show you what this product does. Glasses. Yeah. It's called old age. Y'all know about that thing. Oh no. No, we actually, this is all we do. We have an alliance with a company that does a lot of other, they do the spray foam, the blow in, the fiberglass bats and so forth, cellulose. But all we do is radiant barrier. That's what we specialize in. I had a client just last week, as a matter of fact, he made the comment that he chose us because we were more knowledgeable than anybody else he talked to. And I was proud of that because that's what we pride ourselves in doing, is making sure we know what we're doing and making sure we do what do what the customer needs. I've been in houses and I've looked at the home. After going in there, there's not really much we can help them with. In most cases there is, but in some cases there's not. And so I'll be glad to tell the client that. I'm not going to sell him something that they don't need. That just, it's, like I said earlier, what goes around comes around, and that will come around and bite you. So we try to always look after our customers, and therefore we get a good reputation because of it. The radiant barrier, I'm gonna open us up to questions here in a few minutes, because a lot of people don't really understand what it is. Let me give you a couple of pointers here. First of all, it reflects radiant heat. Radiant heat's that heat that you feel when you go into your attic on a hot July day. And it's also the heat that you heat your home with. So you're basically you're keeping that heat that you're spending dollars for in the wintertime inside your home, and you're keeping that heat that you're spending dollars trying to cool down in the summertime outside your home. So it's saving you money year round. So you're not going to really, it's sort of one of those, it reflects, okay, another very little known fact, radiant barrier will reflect 97% of radiant heat. So there's, like we talked about earlier, I think I've said this before, that's practically all of it. But some people ask me, well, I've never heard of it. And matter of fact, a lot of people haven't heard of it. It's still relatively unknown. It is a lot better known now than it was just a few years ago. But heck, 5 years ago, I had never heard of it. So therefore, I've been around building and real estate pretty much all my life. So it's not really relatively new on the market, but it's still very, very well, not very well known. Now, a lot of people, they want to know how it works. It's very simple. It reflects the heat. If you take a stove, turn the eye on the electric stove, and you put your hand over it, you're going to feel that heat. That's radiant heat. You take a piece of this and put over it. Try it at home. A piece of tinfoil works pretty much the same way. Put this over that eye and put your hand over the material. You're not going to feel that radiant heat anymore. It's going to block it. It's going to reflect it back. Now, studies have found that it's going to save, on average, it's going to save about 15%. We use that figure quite often. Actually, in a lot of homes, especially older homes, it's gonna save more like 20, sometimes a lot more than that, over a year's time. In the summertime, you're gonna save about 20, 30, maybe even 40%. In the wintertime, similar savings. In the spring and fall, of course, you're not gonna save as much. But if you average that out across the board, you're gonna average about 15% per month on a utility bill when you look at it over a year's time. People ask, well, does this work? Well, yes, it works. Studies have found, actually, study has been done on the product. The Florida Solar Energy Center, the Appalachian State University, Texas A&M University, there's been quite a few others. NASA uses it. They use it in their spacesuits. They use it to protect the astronauts from 300 and 400 degree temperatures. Frito-Lay uses it. Next time you open a bag of chips, once you get through eating the chips out of the bag, open it up and look at this. It's got the silver lining inside of it. That's basically the same thing as radiant barrier. It's the same technology. Anybody in here has ever used a sun shield in their car windshield? They know it works. I mean, it's the same exact principle. So it's not really the question whether it works or not, but how much is it going to save you, and is it worth the investment? That's really the bottom line. So when you look at it across the board, actually most of you have the little door hanger we use, and Tim Rogan fixed it up for me, did a very good job with it. But if you look on the back of that, that'll give you a few testimonials there. Actually, a couple of those folks are in this room right now. And if you look back there and read those, you'll sort of get a very good idea of what this product does and how it performs, and therefore you can you get a little better idea of what the savings and investment is worth. Now, your average typical customer, they're going to recoup this investment in about 2 to 3 years. You're going to see the savings across the board return that money back to you in 2 to 3 years. Some cases even less than that. But I don't think we've had anybody that's probably going to be more than 3 years. So therefore, when you look at the difference that it's going to make in the utility bill, but then you also got to look at the fact that it's going to make your home a lot more comfortable. We had a guy a few weeks ago. He was complaining about heat in the summertime and cold in the wintertime. And basically his whole house, but especially in one area of his house. And when we went up there, we realized part of his problem was typical mass insulation, which you do need. I mean, this is not a standalone product here. That mass insulation was lacking, pretty much non-existent in part of his home. So we had our alliance with other company. We got the other company in there to take care of that, and we put the radiant barrier over the entire home. And he said he did notice an immediate difference the next cold snap he had, that one we had just a few weeks ago. He noticed that there was a definite change. So we know that it does definitely work. I'm going to open this up to questions. So pretty much, go ahead.
2 things. Does it attach to the roof joist, the wrappers on the inside of the house? Is that where it goes?
It can go 2 different places typically. It can go on the back side of the rafters, which is basically what we call the roof of the attic.
Right. So it's going along the roof line. Right.
And it can go on the floor. In other words, your floor of the attic. And a lot of people look at that and it's like, well, I think that, they want it one place or the other for different reasons, but you just made a face when I said the floor.
I would think it would be better to be along the roof line.
In some cases it is. It depends on several things. One of the main factors there is, do you have an air handler and heating and air vents in your attic?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and it probably would be better on the roof trusses, but it's not always the case. We've had several customers that had great performance with it when they still have the air handler and the roof truss. You almost have to look at each individual case. It's going to be a little bit different. But matter of fact, if I remember correctly, Doug, you had an air handler and heat ducts in your attic, did you not? We put that on the floor, is that correct? Yeah, that's what I thought. Sometimes the advantage of the floor installation is you're gonna stop that heat totally from your living space. When you put it on the backside of the attic, on the roof rather, you're not really gonna stop the heat. The attic's still gonna heat up to some degree. So you're gonna still have some of that heat basically coming down in your home, in your living space. I like to put it on the floor for that main reason, that and the fact that in the wintertime, you're gonna reflect that heat back in your home. So it's not gonna end up escaping into your attic. However, there are also a lot of other cases. Let's say you store a lot of stuff in your attic.
Right.
You got a floor up there, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you need to put it on the backside of your.
Is there ever an instance, say I was to take the shingles, the felt, and everything off of my roof?
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever put it on the outside?
Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact.
And then they put the felt and the shingles on top of it?
Yep, we work with, of course now, if you do that, let me say, if you're going back with a shingle roof, you'll need to put some more decking down. It's gotta have a 3/4 inch air gap. Now, if you're dealing with a metal roof, it's a no-brainer because you're gonna have to strip that roof to begin with, put that metal down. So then you've created that 3/4 inch air gap, and you can put that material down the roof, strip it, and then put your.
So really, it's better to have it on the inside up on the roof line.
It's better.
How long does it last?
Forever.
Never have to replace it.
NASA started using it back in the Apollo project. So, I mean, it's pretty well, protected. I mean, it's not gonna go, it's not, for example, fiberglass insulation is gonna settle. This won't. This is gonna work 30 years from now, so it's not gonna, there's actually a 25-year warranty on the product. Yes, sir.
Maybe a technical question for you and roofing technology, is that radiates, you'll have some emissivity and stuff that'll protrude out, reflected back to outside the house.
Right.
What are y'all seeing on warranties? If that heat's not coming to my house, it's gonna be heat saturated on my roof. Do you see any issues with asphalt shingled roof and that baking a roof or having problems with a warranty of a shingled roof?
I haven't seen any problems with the shingle. Most of our experience with Tim's product, we're putting it directly on the roof when we're doing the metal roofs.
Okay.
Because we're putting down 1x4s anyway,
That's
it's easy
okay.
for us, makes it real economical for the customer too. We're just putting it straight on the roof, then the 1x and then the metal, and that we got that inch barrier anyway. So you can only put it on the roof if you're doing metal. Inside, haven't seen any issues, but it's a good point because it would be more heat coming
Radiant out.
back up too.
I've talked to customers about this and introduced them to this product that you have, and that was one of the common questions I'm getting. Is it gonna affect or bake the roof?
If you put it on the inside though, once you have air coming through the eaves going through the ridge.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You do.
That's what better heats around the ridge.
But it's still a good question, and there have been studies, numerous studies actually, done on that particular that particular item. But it does not, I think I'm trying to remember for sure, I've got my memory here, but I believe the studies have shown anywhere from a 3 to 5 degree increase, which is nominal.
That's nominal.
And so it's not going, it's not going.
Great. Good to
On the
know.
roof level.
So, but no roofing, no manufacturers have specifically said if you have that under there, it's gonna invalidate the warranty.
It will not invalidate.
All right, can I do it real quick for you, Carter?
Yes. All right. This one. I'll let you read it. What's that say?
That says 100 degrees.
All right.
This one says, that's what, 76 degrees.
Went down, didn't it?
Started to say
That went up 2 degrees.
It's a trick.
Don't tell them.
Go get a haircut.
It's actually radiating heat, and not only that, but it does not heat up.
It's a little warm, but it's not very warm.
It's not, if you want to put